Alderwoman Charlene Moore from the 10th Aldermanic District as well. With that, I did mention that about a month ago I stood here in the rotunda and announced some really early results from our illegal dumping camera pilot program. Now, to remind you, we've placed cameras in locations all throughout the city that have frequent cases of illegal dumping. Now, the program's goal was to increase the successful prosecution of criminals who cause blight in our city by dumping illegally in neighborhoods throughout Milwaukee. Through the combined efforts of the Department of Neighborhood Services, along with the Milwaukee Police Department, we continue to see citations based on the camera footage that we've obtained from the camera network that we've established. Although I'm pleased with the initial progress, it's also pretty disheartening, though, that despite this program, other outreach efforts and the coverage that is presented by those in local media, unfortunately, we're not lacking illegal dumping offenders. As an example, just 2 weeks ago, our cameras caught one person who dumped not once, not twice, but 3 times. A person dumped 3 times at the same location. The very next day, we caught another offender who dumped twice, 2 times, at a different location. If you take a look at the poster that's standing to my right, you'll see some of this in action here. Now, we won't identify these suspects today because they've not appeared in court to answer these citations. But because the Common Council did vote to increase the maximum illegal dumping citation from $2,000 on up to $5,000, a move that I supported wholeheartedly, because folks who dump illegally in our community should face a consequence. I've said it repeatedly. Folks who cause death, harm, or destruction, and this certainly is harm, in our community, they should be held fully accountable. So I fully support the increase in the citation. These 2 suspects were rewarded with some really, really expensive citations. Some really expensive citations, and they deserve it. The suspect on the right who dumped 3 times, he earned himself not 5, not 10, but $15,000 in citations. $15,000. And while the other suspect received not $5, but $10,000 in citations. Now, for those who may think these citation amounts are excessive, what I want you to do is to talk to the folks in our neighborhoods who are affected by the blight of illegal dumping. Talk to those folks who are disproportionately affected by this crime. Ask them about the harm that's been inflicted upon them and their families in the neighborhoods that they call home. Listen to their stories about how the blight is caused by illegal dumping causes despair. To our residents who are sick and who are tired of illegal dumping, as I am and as everybody who's standing here with me continues to be, know this, that the people that go about with this lazy, this selfish crime, we all make this promise to you. When we catch illegal dumpers with this camera program, we'll issue those offenders the maximum, the absolute maximum citation amount that's provided and allowed by law. Now, these citation amounts are nothing compared to the actual costs caused by the crime. Illegal dumping, it not just harms folks out in the community, it also steals city services. These things shouldn't have to happen, but we end up having to expend city services or city resources in order to address this issue. For an example, when somebody illegally dumps their trash on a city-owned property, that's got to get investigated by a Milwaukee police officer. That's got to get investigated by an inspector in the Department of Neighborhood Services. To clean up the mess, the Department of Public Works will usually send out a crew or hire contractors to remove the trash. The city attorney's office then has to intervene to take the issue over to municipal court. An illegal dumper decides to forego a minor inconvenience and instead of visiting one of our self-help centers that we have throughout the city, it shifts that burden then onto taxpayers and residents here in the city. And that's not right, and it's not fair. So it's hours and hours of work across multiple departments. I just listed them just a moment ago. And diverted resources are now invested in a single case of illegal dumping rather than programs that really could benefit neighborhoods. It really could uplift and help people throughout our city and neighborhoods all over Milwaukee. You know, collaboration is essential for us to be successful in curbing illegal dumping because, as you can see here, it truly takes a team effort. With the city's operations, we've got multiple departments that are working together to address the issue of illegal dumping. The Department of Neighborhood Services, the Milwaukee Police Department, the Department of Public Works, the City Attorney's Office, the Department of City Development, all of them work together, all of them work collaboratively in this work as we work to target folks who are dumping illegally in our city. And while I appreciate this collective teamwork, I've encouraged these departments to look outside of city operations in order to attack illegal dumping. This intergovernmental collaboration, it's seeing some success. And so I'm pleased to be joined today by Jessica Ballinger from, did I say that correct, Jessica? Excellent, perfect. From the Milwaukee County District Attorney's Office and the Department of Natural Resources, Warden Meng Yang. Now, these two, as well as other state officials, they've worked very, very tirelessly to pursue a suspect alleged to be the most egregious waste tire dumper in our city, or at least one of them. This suspect is believed to have dumped not just hundreds, but thousands and thousands and thousands of tires throughout Milwaukee. Now, because of this significant environmental hazard caused by the abandoned tires, we were able to work collaboratively then with the state for assistance. And thanks to their efforts and willingness to work with our city team, that suspect is now facing tens of thousands of dollars in citation. That's important news. Tens of thousands of dollars in citations for somebody who decided to be selfish, decided to be lazy, decided to dump in our neighborhoods and cause blight for people in Milwaukee to have to deal with. Now they're facing thousands of dollars in citations. That's a thing that I applaud. Now, I'll only refer to this person as a suspect as these citations are still pending right now in circuit court. I also want to commend as well Department of Neighborhood Services Inspector Raymond Rutherford for his contributions to the state's case against this suspect. To eradicate illegal dumping, all of us have got to work together. It's the city, it's the county, it's the state, it's all of us working in collaboration. So Jessica and Meng, I want to thank you for coming today and thank you for your partnership in addressing the crime of illegal dumping here in our city. So thank you all very, very much. Despite, though, these collaborative efforts in catching illegal dumpers, we'll need the city of Milwaukee's help in identifying some suspects. And by the city of Milwaukee, I mean the residents here in Milwaukee. So I'm asking all of the residents in Milwaukee to visit milwaukee.gov/dumping. Again, that's milwaukee.gov/dumping. Later today, you'll find a link to a page dedicated to these suspects. We'll showcase 3 offenders through images and videos that were captured by our camera system that we've set up in spots throughout the city. If you recognize any of these people, if you know any of these people, because that's part of the thing too. Like, we need folks out in the community who have family or friends who are doing dirt, doing bad things. Like, all of us collectively, we have to hold them accountable. It's not just for me. It's not just for the alders or DNS or the state and the wardens. It's not just for the district attorney's office or the city attorney's office. It's for citizens too to take part in this. So if you see somebody that's on this website, you know somebody, you recognize somebody, you got to turn them in. You can't allow this stuff to continue happening in our neighborhoods, but more importantly, they're also your neighborhoods too. So all of us have a role to play in this. So if you recognize any of these people, share any information you have about the suspects. And if you're the first person to positively identify a particular suspect and are willing to testify, you're eligible to receive a reward of up to $1,000. So you're helping to protect your neighborhoods, you're helping to make sure we don't end up having to divert city resources unnecessarily. There's also a financial benefit for you as well in a $1,000 reward. So again, that's milwaukee.gov/dumping. I want folks to bookmark this page and I want them to visit it often. You can learn about how you can submit your own footage as well that could be used to convict an illegal dumper. Your willingness to identify offenders can earn you the reward while helping to improve the health of your neighborhood and punishing somebody who's dumping illegally in our city. So let me just close with this. Let me give a warning to the people who are out there who still choose, even with a camera system out there, still makes the choice, knowing you're going to get caught, to dump illegally. Your time is coming. Your time's coming. The systems out there, we're working with not just this group of folks across departments, across governments. We're working directly with citizens out there in Milwaukee who care about this issue, who don't want blight in their neighborhoods, who take this matter very seriously. So your time is coming. Through the combined efforts of our city and state teams, along with the vigilance of residents and neighborhoods all throughout Milwaukee, your luck eventually is going to run out. It always does. It always does. And for illegal dumpers, your luck's going to end up running out too. When you're caught and prosecuted, think about this. Think about how your family is going to feel when your face is posted up on the city website as an illegal dumper. Think about how your friends, and if you're working, how your boss, how your coworkers, the people in your circle, how they're going to feel when they see your face on Facebook, when they see your face on social media, that you are dumping illegally. If you have kids in your life, right, and they're watching this stuff too, think about what they're going to think when your face is posted out there because you're doing something lazy, because you're doing something selfish, because you're dumping in our neighborhoods, because you're creating blight in our community. Think about that. So before you choose to dump illegally, take a personal inventory. Think about how it's going to affect you. Think about how it's going to affect your work. Think about how it's going to affect your friends. Think about how it's going to affect your family. Think about how it's going to affect your standing in our community. Also think about this too. Can you afford a $5,000 citation? I don't have $5,000 to dump illegally. I don't think a lot of folks who are out there dumping have the ability to pay $5,000 or more themselves either. I don't want this to become on you, but if you dump illegally, it's going to. It will. It will. And we don't have any problem doing it. More importantly, can you hear the shame when the people in your life, when they bear witness of the crime that you've committed against our neighborhoods, against our fellow citizens, and against our city? Think about all those things. Take that personal inventory. And with that, we'll take a couple questions.
Mayor Johnson, how confident are you that you can, with this camera system and with the collaboration, actually identify and get them to pay this ticket, a $5,000 ticket? As an example, I'm thinking of all the people in Milwaukee who have not paid $50 parking tickets and not paid $100 or $200 for car registration and are still out there driving. I mean, do you think you can actually bring these people in, identify them, get them to pay? Because, as an example, we have a lot of scofflaws out there.
Yeah, and I think we should use every single tool that we have at our disposal to hold these individuals accountable. Yeah, I do think that the camera system will be effective in capturing these individuals. I mean, I've been able to see some of the images that these cameras have been able to generate, and it's clear shots. It's clear shots of individuals who are doing this. And I've got a lot of confidence, a lot of faith in the city attorney, Evan Goyke, and his office. I have a lot of faith in Kent Lovern, the district attorney, and the assistant district attorneys that we have there too, in order to prosecute these criminal cases. And that's what these are. These are criminal cases.
So these will be treated a little more seriously
Yes.
than the other.
Correct. Correct.
Mayor Johnson, given that there is a limited amount of employees within the Department of Neighborhood Services, is there a possibility that some people will be hired on full time to operate these cameras to identify people who are illegally dumping? Is that something within the city budget for next year?
Yeah, well, we'll continue to monitor this program. It is still pretty new as it is right now. I don't want to make any projections about what's going to happen in the future at this point, considering that it is so new. But again, we've been able to get some really clear images of these individuals. Hopefully the answer would be no, that we wouldn't need to bring more folks on because it would be that effective and folks would be so ashamed of their actions and having their face plastered all over your media and all over social media, and their family and friends and workplaces seeing that folks would be dissuaded from dumping illegally, and we wouldn't have to take that measure. Hey.
And these are some pretty hefty fines. Any idea of where this money, once the fines are collected, where that money can go to?
We'll probably work to make sure that we invest that money into further cleanups and helping to continue to beautify our city. We haven't had further conversations on that, but that's just one thing that comes to my mind. I think certainly to members of the Common Council as well, because there's need to continue to beautify our city. And who better to pay that bill than the people who are making it dirty, who are creating that additional blight?
Some of the stuff I'm seeing, the guy on the left there, that's the trunk of a car. Couldn't most people just take that for free with a gun?
Correct. That is absolutely correct. That's why I say it's a crime of laziness and selfishness. If you're already getting in your car to drive to some place to dump and do it illegally, why wouldn't you just get in your car and drive to the self-help centers and dump it there and do it many times for free? It's ridiculous. It's lazy is what it is. It's selfish is what it is, and it's creating a blight that damages our neighborhoods. And the people in Milwaukee, the good people who call this city home, they don't deserve that. They do not deserve that. And the kids who live in that neighborhood and neighborhoods across Milwaukee that see that, they don't deserve that either. These folks are setting a bad example, and the behavior that they're exhibiting is criminal behavior, and they should be held accountable for it. Especially, and I'm glad you pointed that out, Nick, when they could simply get in that very same vehicle and drive to a self-help center and dump it there, and many times do it for free. There's no excuse. There is absolutely no excuse.
Do you know what neighborhoods these two situations happened in and what items were they found?
I'm not going to say that because I don't want to reveal any information about where the cameras are. And I mean, what's there is you can see in the picture what some of the items are. Perhaps the Department of Neighborhood Services will be able to follow up with some of the more particulars about what was dumped in these instances. But I don't want to divulge locations where the cameras are. Anybody else have anything they want to offer? Anything they want to share?
I got one more.
Okay.
So just kind of going off the first gentleman's question. So let's say somebody does refuse to pay the citation. Could they possibly seek jail time if they keep refusing these citations?
That's a question I would pass to probably the city attorney's office or the district attorney's office on that. You guys?
Thank you. I'm Tyler Helser from the city attorney's office. There's multiple efforts to attempt to collect an outstanding municipal fine. I mean, we see this with anything from traffic citations to other citations as well. These are hefty fines, so they create a little bit more leverage, but ultimately a lot of times it ends up that those types of debtors want to pay those fines. They don't want them hanging over their heads. But there's a long list of what can be done, including finding the person in contempt, and then they can be brought in before the court in contempt. But those are avenues that take time, and hopefully we're hoping that these hefty fines create the leverage we need to see this type of activity ceased. So, yep.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for covering this. All right.